Good evening. Welcome to A Place for Healing weekly wellness webinars. This evening is the Miracle of You. I want to welcome you all onto this great week of Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And for all of those calling in, I welcome you as well. We have people calling in from the computer, the tablet, the phone. It's a really great group of people we have here tonight. I'm going to put it on mute because I heard some of you are traveling and some noises in the background. So I'm going to mute it tonight. Something real exciting happened this week I'd like to share with you. You can now go on our website, www.placeforhealing.com, and go to our webinar archive so you can see all of our past webinars. This one will get put on tonight as well. And I'm real excited about this one. This one has always fascinated me. The information I'm going to be sharing with you is about how we are created. From when that sperm and that egg come together, what's the process that makes a human being from those two cells? We're going to explore that in depth. And whether you're a evolutionist or a creationist, it doesn't matter. The process is the same, and it's fascinating either way. So I'm Dr. Barry Weinberg from A Place for Healing, where we specialize in helping people heal from the inside out through network spinal analysis, home wellness products and solutions, as well as things like this, wellness education. So, I started A Place for Healing back in 1994. 21 years ago, with a vision of a place where the environment itself is healing, where people just walk through the door and the healing process begins. So all healing really comes from within, and to optimize that as much as possible so people can heal problems they've had for years and haven't had a solution, and to find that solution from within is so empowering and so powerful. Over the years, I've written a couple of books. One's called A Clear Path to Healing, Reclaiming the Inner Healing Power of Body and Mind to Reach Your Optimum Health Potential, and To Face a Dragon, which is a fairy tale kind of short story. It's a quick read, but it has a powerful healing message that people have gotten tremendous value from. I'm also a musician. I'm a guitar player, piano learning player, and a songwriter. And a few years back, I had the opportunity to write the soundtrack for a film called Florida Crackers. It's a documentary film about the cattlemen and cowboys of Florida. If you love Florida, you love history, and you love cowboys, this is the movie for you. You could go to floridacrackersmovie.com and watch it for free and hear all the great music that was created for this. And that's who I am, and let's get started. I'm going to start this evening with a cellular love story. Once upon a time, there was a man and a woman, and they met and fell in love, and they came together, and each of them had a little message inside. That's what we call DNA. And each one had half of the message. And when they came together through some miracle of nature, they united and became one cell, each sharing half of their message to make a complete message. Now, inside this one molecule of DNA is all the information to create a human being. How the heart works, where the heart goes, how the brain works, where the fingers go, how the fingers work, where thinking and feeling and touching and all the things we experience as human beings is all inside this one tiny little cell. And suddenly, that cell divides, and it makes a complete replica of that DNA molecule. If you took this DNA molecule on the left and took this DNA molecule on the right and examined them under the microscope, if everything went well, they'll be exact replicas of each other. You couldn't tell the difference between them. And then they divide again, and they divide again, until we have this big ball of cells, each with an exact copy of that DNA molecule. Now, around the 16th day after conception, after that sperm and egg came together, around the 16th day after that, something miraculous happens, and it's called differentiation. Differentiation means one of these cells, out of all these cells, makes a decision and says, hey guys, I'm going to go be a heart. And it starts changing its shape and changing everything about itself, its shape, its function, to become a cell that pumps and becomes a heart. Another cell, maybe at the bottom of this ball, says, hey guys, I'm not going to be a heart, I'm going to go be skin. And it changes its shape and becomes a skin cell to protect the outside of the body. And one of these cells becomes bone, and one of these cells becomes brain, and one becomes spleen, and one becomes pancreas. And all these cells differentiate until we start having something that starts looking like a human being. So here's the question that's pondered scientists, and there is no answer other than the one I'm going to give you. Here's the question. If all these cells are exactly the same, with the same DNA molecule in it, with the same instructions, how did one of them know to become a brain, and one of them know to become a heart, and another one know to become skin? Why didn't they all become heart? Why didn't they all become skin? Why didn't half of them become bone and half of them become liver? How did they all know to differentiate? And how did they not copy each other and create two hearts or four legs? How did they know? How did the one that became a heart know to read chapter 32 of the DNA molecule on how to become a heart, and the one down here on the bottom know to read chapter 12 on how to be skin? Why didn't they all read the same chapter? Well, the answer to this question comes down to one thing. And if you look at any biology text or medical text, you'll find this answer when you read about this. How did they know? They just knew that these cells in the human body has an innate intelligence that they just know. They know how to coordinate. These aren't just little balls of protoplasm. These are balls of intelligent protoplasm, coordinating as a team. It's miraculous. And in my biology text and in my medical text that I have in my office, that's what it says, that these are just intelligent and they just know. Isn't that pretty amazing? So let's look at this a little further, how we're created. So here's some real pictures and some drawings. If you look on the left here, after 4 days, here's the little ball of cells, like I just showed you in the picture. And on that 16th day, they start to differentiate. Now here's the most coolest thing. I'm a chiropractor. I love the spine and the nervous system. I understand that the nervous system in the brain is what controls everything else. And that my job as a chiropractor is to help people have the healthiest spine and nervous system as possible so that their body can function the way it's supposed to. So on the 16th day, when these cells start to differentiate, the first thing that's formed is the brain and the primitive spine. Before there's a heart, before there's legs, there's arms, it's just a glob of cells. And this isn't even a brain or a spine. The brain at this point is just a little hole, and the primitive spine is just a crease. It's called the primitive streak. So in this ball of cells, a little hole forms and a little groove comes down on the 16th day. On the 20th day, this is what it looks like, and you can actually see on the right picture here little shapes of vertebra starting to form. At the top here is the future brain and the future spine before anything else forms, because the intelligence of this body knows that before it lays anything else down, it needs to have the system that transmits the information and controls everything laid down first. Awesome, right? On days 22 and 23, we can see a complete spinal cord with the vertebra starting to form, and then the heart and the eyes form next. We got to see what we're doing. So the heart forms, and then the eyes after the brain, spine, and spinal cord are laid out. And then days about after the first month, we start seeing that picture of the embryo that we're all familiar with, and you can see that spine running down. And after 20 weeks, we start sucking our thumbs, we can hear music, we play with the stuff inside our mommy's belly, and we're starting to become a human being. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an awesome movie of this all happening. And I want you to really pay attention because it shows the brain, spinal cord, and nerves forming before anything else does. Okay, so I'm going to start this movie. Turn up the volume. It's got some really good music. And here we go. Oops. Here are all the sperm running towards the egg. Racing. Who's going to get there first? And the cell's starting to divide. Here's our little ball of cells. Here we go, the brain, spine forming. It's the inner ear. Pretty awesome, huh? That's how we all come to be. Start it again. So feel the miracle of that. From two cells coming together, all that begins. And what drives it? An innate intelligence that coordinates that whole thing, moving down that nervous system and creating all those organs. Why is this important for us to know today? Well, that intelligence that put all those cells in place and made all that happen didn't leave us after we were born. It's still there, and this process is going on every single moment. The cells of our body are constantly dying off and new ones are being born and replacing them. Constantly. Here's a chart of how long the cells of our body live. The stomach cells of our body only live 2 to 9 days before they're replaced by new ones. You can scan down the list. Our bones, 10% of it is replaced every year, bone cells. Red blood cells every 4 months. Fat cells every 8 years. The only thing that doesn't change is our central nervous system and our lens, because that's not really a cell, it's a form of glass, actually. Our skin cells replace every 10 to 30 days. So overall, every 7 to 10 days, every 7 to 10 years, every one of our cells, except for our nervous system, has been replaced by new cells. So then you may ask, well, I have the shoulder injury and it's been there a lot longer than 10 years. I've had this thing for 15 years. I've had this health issue for 25 years. Well, why is that? If the cells are being replaced, how can you still have the same injury? Let's look at that. In our past webinars, we talked about that the body, actually all biology, whether an animal, a plant, a bacteria, or the human body, we're in one of two states at all time. We're either in defense or we're in growth. When we're in defense, the body is trying to protect itself from danger, and that's the condition that all disease happens in. When the body is free of stress, when the body lets go of that fight or flight stress response, the healing and growth process naturally happens. So when we're healthy and we're in that growth process, our body's like this brick wall. And every few hours or every few days or every few months, the body removes one of the bricks and puts it back, a new one fresh in. So we're constantly rebuilding this wall with fresh bricks. We take one from the upper left corner and put a new one in. Take one from the center, put a new one in. So let's look at the disease process. Let's pretend this brick wall is your damaged shoulder from a head injury, from some kind of injury. The cells are still being replaced by new ones. But when we're in that defense process and our body's stuck in that defense, there's like a memory within the cells. It's like the body is holding the body, the intelligence and that stress response is holding the body in that disease process. And those bricks are being replaced, but they're being replaced exactly like they are in this picture. It's like we take this brick over here, and we pull it out, and we put another brick in just like it. And we take another brick from the left side, and we pull it out. Our body is constantly rebuilding that injury day in and day out. It's as if whatever caused that injury is happening in every moment. Because when our nervous system is stuck in that stress response, it's acting as if that event is happening still. Our body is locked in that event. So what's the solution? I believe the solution to any health problem is to help your body recover from that event and develop new strategies for adapting to those stresses. Ultimately, all healing occurs after the body recovers from that stress and lets go of that stress response. There are many things you could do to support yourself in this process. Doing things like meditating and staying in the present moment, eating healthy, exercise, resting, getting good rest, taking deep breaths. What we offer in our office is something called network spinal analysis. Network spinal analysis is an approach to wellness that applies low-force touch contacts to the spine to cue the nervous system to recover from past stresses and develop new strategies to adapt to stress, heal, and live to one's full potential. Current research at the University of California Medical School in Irvine shows that NSA, or network spinal analysis, significantly improves physical well-being, mental emotional well-being, response to stress, life enjoyment, and overall quality of life. When individuals began network care, the benefits of other lifestyle changes such as healthy diet, exercise, psychotherapy, and meditation doubled and tripled. So network care is not a replacement for these things, it's an enhancement to these things. Because when you're free of the stress response, your nervous system's working the way it's supposed to, that innate intelligence is expressing itself fully, everything you do, you're going to get the full maximum benefit of it. However, if you have stress in your nervous system, you can eat a healthy diet, but your body's not going to use it the way it's supposed to use it. Functional MRIs, which is an MRI in like a movie, it moves through time, not like a snapshot, it's a movie. And self-reported self-assessments reveal that network care increases brain efficiency and an individual's adaptability to stress and make healthier decisions. And network care has a sympathetic quieting effect that moves a person from stress physiology, defense posture to one of ease, safety, and growth. In our office, we can actually measure the stress in the body. This scan in the upper left is a muscle scan that shows where there's muscle tension. The different colors, green is mild, blue is moderate, red is severe. The scan right in the lower left is an ideal scan. That's what it's supposed to look like. And after 3 months of NSA care, on the upper right, that's what the person looked like, looking much more like the good one on the lower left. This scan in the lower right actually has to do with the heart rate. It was developed by NASA, and it's actually a tool where we can measure and give you a score of how healthy you are and how adaptable you are by measuring something called heart rate variability. NASA found through their studies that the healthier a person is, the more adaptable they are, the spaces between the heartbeats become more variable. Meaning if you measure the heart rate over 5 minutes and look at the spaces between the beats, the more different they all are from each other, the healthier and more adaptable the person is. It's kind of counterintuitive. But this graph here, that green at the top, that's the bullseye. That's where we want to be. And as we move into the yellow, that's when stress starts affecting our body. When we get to orange, we really start noticing symptoms, and they start getting high blood pressure. When we get into the red, we got some significant severe health problems, things like diabetes and heart disease and cancer. So this same person with these muscle scans, that white dot is where they were, and they're starting to go into the orange. And after 3 months of care, you see them up in the green. So we can, it's not just are you feeling better, we can actually measure your body getting healthier, getting more adaptive. So I want to say happy Thanksgiving. This is an awesome time of the year. I'm a big fan of gratitude. I'm grateful for gratitude. If you have any other questions or anything, you have some issues you want to discuss or you want to check out Network Smile Analysis, give us a call at 954-848-HEAL, H-E-A-L, and visit our website, placeforhealing.com. You can check out our past webinars. You can check out my blog. There's a link to a blog. There's 60, 70 articles on there that you can read on all kinds of things, mostly about health and wellness. And I want to thank you all for being on here. I'm going to take off the muting, and so we can have a conversation. But I just want to mention next week is going to be the beginning of a 3-part webinar. I'm very excited about this, called Optimize Your Life. We're going to explore something called reorganizational healing. Reorganizational healing is kind of the umbrella that Network Smile Analysis falls under. And it's an approach to developing new personalized strategies to evolve health and life to more effective, vital, conscious levels. It considers intrinsic factors enhancing one's energetic resources along with one's most effective nature and style of change. With reorganizational healing, life challenges, symptoms, and diseases become opportunities to go beyond one's familiar baseline of living to claim a bolder, more vital, and resourceful state of health, wellness, productivity, and life. Very powerful. The first part, we're going to discuss reorganizational healing and what it is and explore it a bit. Part 2, we're going to look at the components of reorganizational healing. I got some really great videos. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very profound. And in Part 3, we're going to explore how to apply it in your life, all the different components. And the components consist of things called the triad of change, the seasons of well-being, and the energetic intelligences.